Hello. I just need to talk about a few things, primarily the monetary system and where it's at, where it's been and where it's going. I'm just going to broad brush a few things, but my most important objective here is to make awareness and to help people think about things on how or what they should think about and how they should think about to get themselves prepared and ready and try to get out of the system. So with the $2 trillion that has just been created out of thin air, and there's going to be a lot more to come, they said that was a stimulus package. They're giving $1,200 to the adults that qualify. If you don't qualify, you're just out of luck. And then they are justifying giving $500 per each child that goes along with qualifying parents or qualifying, I guess, head of household it would be. So in essence, that's just to keep the people quiet, to keep the people, comfortable and not complaining and not guessing and not looking into things any deeper, because what they actually are doing is giving trillions and trillions of dollars to the banks again. It's another bailout, and to other politicians who are on the dole and friends of friends and that kind of stuff. And they pick winners, they pick losers, they pick people who get the money, and then the others just I guess don't benefit at all. They actually get screwed out of the deal. Sorry. So with the $2 trillion that they did, that equates to about $8,000 per every man, woman, and child. And they're giving just crumbs to the normal folk and the people that qualify for it. So what's going to happen is what has been happening since 1913 with the induction of the Federal Reserve Act is there's going to be inflation. Well, there's always inflation, and they say that's a normal thing, and they have to do it because they have to create more currency. They call it money because there's more people. Well, that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't justify it. That's not how economics works. There's going to be a high amount of inflation, and my fear is there's going to be hyperinflation, like there was in Zimbabwe, like there recently was in Venezuela, like there's been in Argentina, like there's been like the Weimar Republic earlier this last century, and it's just going to be crazy and not good. It's going to be a tough time. So what we have done is we have tried to reserve our wealth and preserve our wealth, I should say. And we've been putting our energy and our money into assets that will retain value, if not gain some value, but it's mainly about retaining it. We've done that with gold and silver, and we also have, there's land, and there's other things to look into, properties, but that's another topic, because there's a lot of elements to that. But just starting with silver, because silver is the lowest, the cheapest right now. It's cheaper than it's ever been, basically. And it's not going to get cheaper, really. It's just going to continue to grow, if you want to look at it that way, as the value of the dollar goes down. Because prices don't rise, just the value of the purchasing power of the dollar goes down. So I know we were taught in government schools, public schools, that everything rose, the prices rise, it would rise, and that doesn't happen. The value of the dollar goes down. That's what's happening from inflation. So we have started getting our children involved. We've done this a few years ago, and they weren't too keen to it, I guess, because they didn't know much. So we tried to educate them some, but how we got them involved was there's silver rounds, they call them, that have characters on them. I mean, like the Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, Deadpool, just a whole bunch of Marvel characters and other superhero characters on there. So what we did was, instead of buying them cheap, $20, $30 toys that would break after a few weeks, a few months, or they lose interest, or both, we started getting them, just an ounce of silver or 2 ounces of silver or 3 ounces of silver, for whether that's for Christmas or birthdays or other holidays or other events where we wanted to give a gift. We've done that for our children, and they have since then taken it upon themselves, and they have grown tremendously. The amount of wealth that they are preserving for themselves, and they're just children. We've done that with our nieces and nephews and other children that are in our lives. We're trying to get them involved at a young age, and like I said, one way to do it is with silver rounds. There's also 10-ounce silver bars and 5-ounce silver bars and a whole bunch of options, but we've been doing it with silver rounds because it's something they're interested in. So if they're interested in superheroes, or they're interested in Disney, or they're interested in history, there's historic silver rounds. Or they're interested in music, there's some music silver rounds. They're interested in just a whole bunch, a plethora of different subjects that you could find and try to acquire for your children, your nieces, nephews, whatever the case may be, to try to get their attention and their interest in it, because it's a subject that they might like, or they might like to collect, or they might think is cooler than just your basic silver eagle or silver maple leaf, which those are one of the standards. But silver is silver for the most part. If you want to preserve wealth, I mean, there are collector aspects to certain things, and some has a higher value than others, but if you just want to start preserving wealth and get them started, or yourself started, I highly suggest looking into that, because it is easy for your children to get involved. It's easier for them to take notice of, well, this is cool because it has something I recognize, or something I follow, or something I collect, or something I like here. And that's a stepping stone to this. Since then, our children have moved on. They don't so much go after the characters as much as they were doing the superheroes or the subject they're interested in. And now, a few years later, now they're looking more into silver as a collection, or a wealth preservation. So they're more in tune with that, which we think is great. And they built a good amount for their ages. So inflation has always been here. It's not going to go away unless we get out of that system, which I think would be great if we can get out of the system that they steal from us and they call it inflation. It's a hidden tax. It's ridiculous, and it should be criminal, along with other taxes. I mean, beyond the hundreds of taxes everyone has every day throughout their business that they go through. There's inflation thing is a hidden tax, and that, I think, should be looked upon. But until next time, stay focused, stay alert, and stay informed.